know what? Fuck it, I'll just go live a little early. Good morning, everybody. Oh, is it morning? It's not even morning. Why am I even saying that? Probably because I've been sipping Dunkin' Donuts coffee all morning. Because it's my favorite coffee. Thanks to Kelly. But looks like I already got some comments to catch up on. I'm here. What's up, Kelly? There's my coffee queen. Can't wait for everyone to get here. What's up, Cole, Tony, James? How you doing? Some of you guys aren't even in here anymore, but that's okay. I am gonna smoke some Gorilla Glue number 4 with you. It's a 24%, and lots been going on. Lots been going on at Nomads Nest. Some good, some bad. I've been trying to hook up my solar, right? So I got the panels on the roof that the folks didn't jack. What's up, Bobo? Jeep, Bobo Teabaggins. So I got I had the panels on the roof that the slime balls that robbed me didn't take, and they left my charge controller too. And I ended up getting 2 6-volt golf cart batteries from Caveman, and doing a little bit of hustling and bartering and trading, and wanted to hook those up. So I put the 2 6-volt golf cart batteries on the trailer, went to hook up the batteries, and my charge controller that was working when I got back isn't working anymore. So gotta get a new charge controller. I also got a $50 12-volt cooler, basically a fridge, right? It's right here in the back of the truck. Boom. And if I get that thing hooked up to my solar, then I got a fridge. I got a solar fridge, bro. And it's 12 volt, so I don't need an inverter to run it. So I got like a little bit of money saved up. Not much, but a little bit saved up for a new charge controller, which I'm hopefully gonna get here really soon. Like Amazon it to my ass. And speaking of Amazon, I finally got an address out here at Nomads Nest. It's been like a month, and I've been rolling without an address, and I went and got me a UPS box. So pro tip for nomads out there, if you need an address to register vehicles or get a driver's license or any official stuff that you need a physical address for, and you go to the UPS box, or I'm sorry, the UPS store, they can give you a PO box, but it's not a PO box, it's an actual address with like a street name and a number, like an apartment building. It reads like an apartment building address. So yeah, that's cool. Hey, thanks, Kelly. What's up, Kindle? You're gonna smoke some Tropicana banana with you. That sounds good. You know, I really like those citrusy weed. If it's got a lot of limonene in it, that's the terpene that gives it that citrusy flavor. Is limonene. Oh, that's my favorite. It's my favorite because it tastes like oranges. I love that shit. Really bad homegrown. Why are you doing that? You're in a legal state, in one of the states with like the best weed in the nation. Why would you smoke bad homegrown, dude? Hey, Deanna. UPS store, if you pay for a whole year, it's usually cheaper. Yeah, if I paid for a whole year, I'd be broke for 2 months, so it is a little expensive. But myself and Mac, I know you guys probably know Mad Mac from all the YouTube channel stuff he does. And if you don't, he's another YouTube personality that's in Slab City. Him and I went in on a box together with Caveman, and so we got 3 months worth for the 3 of us to have an address, and you know, in 3 months we'll just have to pay that bill again. But it is really, really nice to finally have an address, like an actual physical address. I can use that to register my truck, because believe it or not, I've been driving this pickup for a year and a half, and it doesn't even have plates on it, like no license plates. In any of my videos that you've watched and you noticed it didn't have plates, it's not like I took them off for the video. I just never went and got my truck registered, and it's been like that for a year and a half, and it's been fine. Like, no one's pulled me over. Right now, at this point, it's almost cheaper to not pay the registration and then just pay the ticket. But I do have an address now, so no excuses. I need to go get my truck registered. Because you're desperate. Ah, I wish I could like send you weed, Kindle. What's up, officer? Yeah. It tastes like bananas only one time, but yeah, limonene is my favorite type of terp. Yeah, homegrown can be pretty fucking good. What's up, Jose? I mean, you can do pretty decent homegrown, but you said it yourself. You got some bad homegrown, Kindle. Come on now. I was, you know, Kindle, you and Kelly aren't actually that far away from each other. And Kelly, Kindle, Sup Birch, is a good friend of mine. She's the one that when Zag got stolen, she's the one that got Zag back for me. So. What's up, Mac? Had breakfast at the restaurant today. How's everyone doing? What's up? I just ate breakfast too, Mac, at the restaurant. So you know where I'm at. Well, of course you didn't grow it, Kindle. You grow food. You don't grow weed. You grow food. Oh, speaking of which, Nomads Nest and Nomadic Zig got. I do not have a green thumb. I really don't. But I bought a sweet pepper plant today, or not today, but yesterday. I bought a sweet pepper plant because its name was Gypsy Sweet Pepper, and it's like, you know, now I'm growing a plant, so my thumb's kind of turning green a little bit. Officer, I'm telling you, grow ganja. I'm gonna tell the officers on you. Oh, you do grow weed. I didn't know that. I knew you grew food. I knew you grew like a garden, like a badass garden. What else went on? Like, I got me an address. Good afternoon, Tony. How you doing? I got me an address out here, Nomads Nest, which means my Amazon wish list is no longer sending to the slabs. It's sending here, which is sweet. I got 2 6-volt batteries for my trailer, and then now I need a new charge controller. So that's lame. What's up, Jackson? Sweet peppers need lots of water and fertilizer. Well, that fucking sucks. I mean, I can give it plenty of water. Since right now I'm growing it in a little pot, which I don't have any fucking clue what I'm doing. But hey, thanks, Tony. I'll be here in New Mexico in the summers and Slab City in the winters still. Like, there's no reason for me not to go down there. So I'll still be going there in the winter. Because that's my winter home, right? Like, why would I not go home? It's kind of cool whenever you pull into Slabs too, like when the summer season's over. Everyone who sees you is just they're just like, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. So every time you go back, you feel like, I don't know, you kind of feel like home. But yep. Plant care. Water and sun, right? Fertilizer. It's that easy. How hard can it be? Because pickle juice kick ass year round. Home is where you park it. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly have no idea what types of vegetation, or, I mean, besides what I see, grows in this area. I don't know what I could grow, what I couldn't grow, what's not going to make it, what is going to make it. And the water thing is going to be an issue too, because I am limited on how much water I have at Nomad's Nest at one time, because I don't have a water cistern, so I'm using like 5-gallon jugs, 3-gallon jugs, driving into town, filling them all up. So yeah, the water thing, as much as I would love to just grow as much as I can, water is my limitation at the moment. So, you know, we have our limits out here in the high desert, but that's not a problem I can't fix, right? Like, I can get a cistern down the road and have plenty of water. Need to figure out some things in this area, like water delivery and shit, like I had to figure out in Slabs. But you're looking at Deming, New Mexico for land. I think that's on the other side of the mountains from me, but I'm not exact. Honestly, I don't know where Deming is. But oh, fuck. That hit hard. In my 12-volt cooler, I got me some sodas. And long awaited video coming up soon. I delivered the wheelbarrow with 2 wheels to David, and I've been editing that video for the last, this morning and yesterday. So I'm really excited to post that soon. Keep your eye out for that. Hey, what's up, Bidwell? How can we see stuff? I have stuff on my Amazon wish list, which if you click the link from the Amazon wish list, you can pull up the stuff that I've added to it. And honestly, if you want me to add more stuff to the list, like if there's something specific you want me to, you want to send me, I can add that to the list when I have signal and put it on there. And and I think that Amazon has a way for you to send things to people that aren't on their wish list, but I'm not exactly sure how to do that. Maybe people in the comments can explain that. I've also got an address that I can, Bidwell, if you hit me up on, after the live stream, because you know how to reach me. I can send you my address, and you can just mail it directly to me if you want to do it that way. Make fertilizer by putting weeds in a bucket and water and let it sit for a couple weeks. I've been starting a little composting thing where I've been putting coffee grounds and eggshells and organic matter in it. So it was $4.18 a gallon, and when I went, it's gone up $1. I know it's probably the same where you're at too, where the price of gas is just keep going up and up and up. And New Mexico is one of the states with lower cost prices of gas, but it's still $4.80. It's gone up almost $1 since I got here. So, it gets expensive to run the generator all the time and whatnot, which the generator's having. I think I have to replace the spark plug because it's thankfully I got a warranty. At dialysis, bummer, can't get stoned with you. That's all right, we'll smoke for you, Kelly. Everyone take a hit for Kelly, who has to suffer through dialysis once or twice a week, don't you? And can't smoke with us right now, so let's smoke one with her. I'm gonna take a hit for Kelly, because she sent me coffee. Psh, here's your hit. I fucking love coffee. I'm such an American. Fertilizer, just go fishing and use the scraps. See, I've got to figure out a way to make a fertilizer pile on my land that other animals aren't gonna get into, like mice and other canines that roam the area. There's dogs out there that people own, but they just roam around. And then there's coyotes, and then there's prairie dogs and all sorts of stuff out there. So I got to figure out a way to keep the animals out of this mess of a fertilizer pile I'm making too. Yeah, there is, Kendall, I'm in the desert, but the Rio Grande isn't that far away. There's a lake right up the road. It's very, very similar to Central Oregon here, believe it or not. Where my land is mostly sage and pinyon pine, but if you drive 10 minutes up the road, you hit the Carson National Forest. It's all lodgepole pine and ponderosa pine, and there's reservoirs, and it's very, very similar to the Deschutes National Forest, except with less water, obviously. I don't even know how to make a wish list. Well, you teach me how to grow plants, I'll teach you how to make a wish list. Deming is near the Mexican border, South New Mexico. Oh, okay, I got you. Hey Chad, you're awesome. Hey, compost, perfect. Don't forget egg carton and cardboard. Ooh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about it. Well, I get plastic egg cartons because I don't like those. I don't like the styrofoam, and that's really all you can get these days is plastic and styrofoam. So hits for Kelly. Yay, everyone's doing it. Have you checked the air filter because of the wind and dust? Yes, Mac, I did. Actually, my generator started hissing this morning. Hissing. So it's either a spark plug or a head gasket, which that would surprise me if it blew a head gasket this quickly, but it doesn't matter because I have a warranty on it, so they'll just give me a brand new one if there's a problem. But I'm going to start with replacing the spark plug. before I drive the hour into Harbor Freight. Dig an underground root cellar. Oh man, like I would love to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, but the ground out here in some spots it's just dirt and you're fine, but in other spots, dude, there's so many rocks. So where I'm at, it's just rocks. I get like 2 feet into the ground and there's giant fucking boulders. And I'm not talking like pebbles, like rocks. I'm talking boulders, like big ass fucking boulders. So myself and Caveman have been talking about like chipping in together to get a jackhammer so we could just plow through the rock. Like there's a hole going right here where we weren't fucking asking. And there's $200 electric jackhammers that we can get. So him and I have been kind of spitballing that idea around of chipping in. Man, I got a lot of comments to catch up on, guys. I'm sorry. Hey, thanks, Bobo. I appreciate the donations. Yeah, I got one from, I guess that is you, I'm assuming. I don't want to, like, give out your name, so I'm not gonna. But if that's you, you're a badass. How far are you from Valley Caldera? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Kindle. To be honest with you, how far is Valley Caldera from Taos? Ooh, 4 pallets of chicken wire around the bottom, easy compost pile. That's not a bad idea, Mac. And I have 1 pallet already because I built a shower. I built a shower at Nomads Nest. The natives used to dig big holes and grow inside them to keep them from heat. That's a good idea. Like keeping the plants in shade all the time. Oh yeah, TB rolls, for sure. Yes, Tony, I have a predator generator. And it started hissing this morning. Like, I just heard it, and all of a sudden I was, just sitting there, it was running fine, and then psh, started hissing out of the exhaust. So, I don't know. I did some looking up, and it could be just a loose spark plug or a bad spark plug, or the head gasket. So, one's easy, one's a bummer. Rent a hammer, Doc Dave. Like, we were looking at renting a jackhammer versus buying one, and renting one is slightly cheaper than buying one. And if we did buy a jackhammer, like a $200 electric one, we could actually make money out here digging holes. The jackhammer could pay for itself because Caveman and I can go out and dig holes there's a lot of elderly people out here and they need holes dug. So him and I can go out there, dig holes through the rocks and everything, and it's not even going to slow us down. I mean, let's be real. It will slow us down, but it's not going to stop us. And eventually it'll pay for itself after a few holes. So yeah, renting one versus owning one, we thought about that. Doc Dave, I don't have a super chat button because I need more subscribers. You need 1,000 subscribers to have the super chat, and you need 4,000 hours of watch time. And I just recently hit the 4,000 hours of watch time, but I'm still short like 150 subscribers before I can do the super chat. But if you guys want to send me any donations on PayPal, Cashapp, Venmo, like all of the links for those are in the descriptions of this video, in the descriptions and chats description comments of my other videos as well. But I don't ask for a lot of donations because that's not really my thing. I prefer to just share these cool videos I make, but I'm happy to take them. I appreciate you guys wanting to do that for me because it's really, really helpful. And I've been living off of less than $1,000 for 8 years now, so it's not like I'm not used to it. But having that little bit, $10 here, $20 here is so helpful. Like I don't know how to explain how far $20 can go in my pocket once I've lived off less than 1,000 for almost a decade. And so, I mean, I'm just super humbled by all the donations that you guys give me. You rent a hammer from Home Depot depending on how long you need it. It could be cheaper for you. Yeah, same thing. Like, we did compare it. I've been dealing with constipation. Dude, drink more coffee. Gets me every time. The air intake flow comes from the bottom. My old one, maybe you should take yours and put it on a pallet. I don't know why they put the air intake on the bottoms. That could be a possibility. Yeah, I was thinking about that because it's super, super dusty where I live at. Like, there's just a lot of that moon dust, Adobe moon dust floating around, and it gets gunked up. So it could just be like a dirty fuel filter, air filter or something. But I'm hoping I can fix it, but I really just need to learn more about them, honestly. Like, I wish I had like Bear, like a mechanic brain to come and teach me about it. Why do people need holes dug out there? Well, we live off grid. There's always a lot of good uses for holes off grid, like a root cellar or an outhouse, or you're about to build something and you need to, put posts in the ground, or you're building a fence, or like same reason you would dig a hole out there, except, well, maybe more reasons than that, like septic. There's tons of reasons to dig holes in the desert, especially off grid. Gonna make my kids sub. Hell yeah, thanks, Deanna. I appreciate all of you subscribers. We're building a cool ass community here. For bodies. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I forgot about bodies. You're right, officer. Yeah, Kelly, Mac's got an address. If you want to send stuff to the same address, Mac and I are sharing a box. Bircher, like, Kendall, are you going live on here, or are you going live on... You do live streams on TikTok, don't you? Hey, what's up, Crystal? What's up, Adam? How you guys doing? Glad to have you here. For those who just got here, I'm smoking on some Gorilla Glue number 4. It's 24%, and there's been there's been a lot of new stuff going on at Nomads Nest. I got 2 new batteries for my solar system, and now I need a charge controller, because my cheap $14 charge controller finally took a crap on me. As soon as I tried to hook up my batteries, it stopped working. So I'm gonna get a new charge controller soon, and then I can get this 12-volt cooler I got. Dude, I got this thing for 50 bucks. These things are like 200 bucks. And I got it for 50 bucks on Facebook Marketplace, and it was brand new. Like, the guy was like, yeah, I've never even plugged it in. It wasn't what we needed. So 50 bucks, killing it. Once I get my solar hooked up, I'll be able to plug that into the solar, and just the sun can give me cold drinks and keep my meat good. What else happened? Mac showed up, so he stayed at my property for a couple of days, while Caveman cleared out all the sage on his land, and he's done moved over to his spot now. While he was there, we got to experiment with a cell phone booster out at Nomads Nest, and it was kind of inconsistent. Like, with the booster, you had to be really close to it, and it would work, and then it wouldn't, and then it would, and it wouldn't. It was kind of inconsistent. So, my options being, as they are, having solar. My options are, I have a cell phone signal booster, or I have it that powers SpaceX, like Skynet. So the signal booster is a one-time payment of like 500 bucks, and it works inconsistently out here. The SpaceX would work, obviously, unless it's like a really, really cloudy day or something. But it's a one-time installment fee of 600 bucks, and then like a monthly payment, a monthly charge. But it's prepaid, not a bill. So if I don't pay it, it's not like it hits my credit. It doesn't build up and accumulate. So I don't know which one I'm going to do yet. SpaceX versus the signal booster. It's kind of a hard decision. And yeah, you're right, Tony. Like, my cell signal is a needed tool out here for sure. Let's see, let me catch up on some of the chat here. Sometimes go live on TikTok, but I was talking about YouTube. Yeah, man, YouTube is you can smoke on your channel on YouTube. So 12-volt refrigerators are the shit, dude. I love this thing, and I used to have one before, but I had a soda explode in it, and it got into the electronics and fucked it up. So this one I'm gonna take really good care of. It's got a spot just for soda cans, so it doesn't explode and roll around back there. Kelly, I want to earth ship up the road, and so does Kindle. Dude, I live like a stone's throw from a bunch of earth ships. Like, that whole earthship neighborhood is right up the road from me. And I'm actually trying to get special permission to do some filming inside one of the houses, because they're very private. You can look at one of the earth ships, and you can go inside of it, and it's kind of a a sales point. It's not actually like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's not much of a tour. And most of the other Earth ships are people's homes. And it's a whole HOA private neighborhood. So I've been working on getting back there to do some filming, but they're pretty cool. Having an Earth ship would be pretty rad. Keep your meat good. That's it. I'll see about it next month. Maybe it would be nice to have a nice signal. I'll just use both of them. You're talking about SpaceX, Mac? Because if one of us out here got SpaceX, we could put relays throughout each of our land, and we could all have SpaceX. All we need is just that one person. And so, like, maybe if that's something we can pull off is getting SpaceX to each of our spots using repeaters, then we could all chip in on the bill, the monthly bill. Maybe that's something to talk about. Tony, I can't go without my cell or my tablet. Yeah, it's a tool, man, and being off grid, like, and having a YouTube channel, like, you really do need to have signal. So oh, it's been beautiful out here at Nomads Nest, except, dude, we actually recently, I'm gonna be posting a video about this, but we had a fire like right over the hill from where I was at. Yeah, Birch and Crystal, like, you all both live in the same town. Actually, you guys both are in Redmond. I know Crystal because I tutored her son when I was in the military, so he can enlist, and he finished high school. And obviously I know Kendall from Redmond too, because that's where I lived. Hey Zig, I'm interested in your area. Are there plot near you available for sale? Yeah, there's a ton of land out here for sale. Mac, what flavor coffee do you like? Yeah, Mac, what flavor coffee you like? Yeah, but everyone here, like, we all know where Redmond is. Come on now. Redmond's like the cooler version of Bend. Just less busy. Span away here. See, y'all are like just a few hours from each other. You're like 4 from Redmond. Yeah, it's a small world, isn't it? What else happened? Oh yeah, we had a fire over the hill, and it was like, I don't know, like, it wasn't threatening Nomads Nest, but it was pretty damn close. And if the winds had blown the right way, it would have hit this sage over here, and the whole mesa would have burned up. Yesterday, wake up and we just see like this really, really faint plume of smoke coming over the hill. And it was actually Caveman that noticed it first, and he's like, hey man, you see, is that smoke right there? And it took me a minute to find it on the horizon, but us slabbers spend so much time scanning the horizon for fires all the time anyways, that we spotted it, see this like, really faint plume of smoke. And I was like, oh yeah, it does kind of look like one. And we go into town at night, it exploded into like 300 acres. But today, I don't know, it's still pretty damn smoky over there. So I woke up this morning and it kind of gone away. There wasn't as much smoke, but now it seems like it might have picked back up and that fire's back. And they just got done fighting the biggest fire in New Mexico's history. So, you know, I'm not really sure. I hope this fire stays the fuck over there, but we'll see. Let me catch up on some of these comments. Cuban coffee, like nothing to taste of mountain goat shit with a swift kick of cocaine. In fact, I do like Cuban coffee. Actually, when I was in Florida last time, I was drinking a lot of those chiladas, which is like a really sweet shot of espresso, or like 4 shots of espresso with tons of sugar. Oh, it's so good. That's what I kept drinking when I was, visiting my mother at the hospital. Cuban coffee will wake you the fuck up. Is there nothing does? Back home to Central Oregon. I was gonna make coffee the other day. I can't find my coffee cup. I gotta unpack soon. Soon I have a friend out here that sells coffee out of a bus, and that's what I've been doing. Oh yeah, you've been going to Rachel's bus. Culotta, is that what it was? A culotta? Maybe that's what it's called. I'm not fucking Cuban. Yeah, Chad, Redmond still doesn't allow dispensaries because they're fucking Nazis. Hey, Jeffro, what's up? Oh, Tony, we're at Disney. Great day for a swim. Fuck yeah, dude. Are you in Disney in Florida or Disney in California? Yeah, James, there is no dispensaries in Redmond because in Oregon, when they voted, they said any of the cities that voted no, you could go ahead and say no dispensaries. So a lot of especially Eastern Oregon, a lot of little towns don't have dispensaries. Bend is the only game for places like 3 hours away. Some people have to drive 2 or 3 hours just to go to the closest dispensary. Oh, Tony, you're in Florida. Okay, that's pretty far. We got a Florida man in the house. Mac, hey bud, hope all is well. Yeah, Mac's in the house. 20 minutes from Orlando. Okay, I've been to Disney World before. I probably was like 19 or so. It was a cool spot. You're wondering about the eastern side too, thanks. Yeah, the further east you go, there's not much for dispensaries. But I would imagine that the free market, the black market, is alive and well in those areas. So that way people don't have to drive, 3 hours to go get their weed. Like there's a void. Someone's going to fill it. Orlando's cool to visit, but horrible to live there. It is really busy, and I mean that's some people's stick. They don't mind cities like that, but I don't really care for cities that much. Oh, did Burns finally have to make? Did Burns finally get a? I didn't know Burns had dispensaries anymore. So yeah, Burns actually would be a good place to set up shop because that's the closest spot. If Burns has dispensaries, there's a lot of little tiny towns out there that don't, like Spray and Brothers and John Day. That's crazy. I'm glad Burns finally got on the bandwagon. And when Oregon first legalized, and the cities that decided not to have dispensaries because their cities voted no on the proposition, the first year they got access to the tax dollars that cannabis provided for the state. But every year after that, they were like, nope, fuck you. Like, if you don't have dispensaries, you're not getting any of the tax money. So that changed a lot of their minds, too. High traffic and high cost is what got me. Yeah, it's expensive. For me, it would just be the people. Like, I don't care if it's expensive or poor, but, I mean, being expensive does matter. But if there's a lot of people, like, I just can't do it, man. I can't be around that many people all the time. $2,600 a month? Jesus, bro. It would take me 2.5 months or so, a little more than 2.5 months to pay your rent. Dude, my monthly land payment is less than that. Like I'm not renting to own, but I'm making payments on the land, owner finance, and they're less than that. Jesus, you know what I could do with that much money right now? Like $2,600, like I could fix a lot of my issues. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy comfort. I live 3 miles from the school. I went down there, and it would take me 30 minutes to get there. Yeah, that sucks, man. That's city life too. I remember I was visiting a friend of mine in Portland, and I wanted to go to Dutch Bros. And he went to class, and I was hanging out at his house, and I looked up at Dutch Bros, and it was only like 5 miles away. And I'm like, sweet, 5 miles, that ain't shit. It took me like 2 hours or so, or like half an hour or more, whatever. Like, it took me a long ass time to get to Dutch Bros, 5 miles away in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, there's still no dispensaries in some towns here in Colorado. I figured that shit out when I drove up to Colorado to get weed, and I went to a dispensary, and they were like, asked for my ID. I gave my ID, and they were like, do you have your medical card? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, this is Dry County, and we don't sell weed in this county unless you have your medical. And I'm like, holy shit, it's Colorado. So that blew my mind. Zig, you wouldn't believe how much rain we've had this spring. What, did you get a lot? I mean, usually, I guess that does surprise me, because Bend and Redmond don't get as much rain as the rest of Oregon does. People talk about how oh, you're from Oregon, it rains too much there for me. And I'm like, but it rains, it's like 300 days of sunshine where I'm from. You're talking about one little piece of Oregon. People say money can't buy happiness. I laugh and say, have you ever smoked weed before? That's true. Oh my God, I hate driving in Portland. Should make an hour to go a mile. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Jim? How you doing? What's up, Marty? Welcome to the live stream. It's literally been precipitating since March. Huh. Precipitating? Precipitating. I think it's precipitation. Whatever. Grand Junction's population 300,000. Up there is the medical market probably because the military is posted up there. Hey, look at that! I got 18 people in the chat and 18 likes. Y'all are on it. Y'all are on that shit. What's up, Ingrid? Did Matt get land close to you? Yeah, he did. He was actually staying on my land up until yesterday. He moved over to his land because he had to clear a bunch of sage from his. Been enjoying your video. Thanks, Marty. I've been enjoying making them. That's okay, Kindle. I fuck up simple words. Like, I fucked up biscuit. So, like, I was spelling biscuits and gravy at the Ponderosa one time for their menu because they make breakfast for everyone, and I spelled biscuits wrong, and they have not let me live it down since. It's been a ongoing, source of making fun of Zig. No, it's because it's a far-right conservative town. Yeah, it's a far-right conservative town because of the military base. Like, the military just breeds conservatives, and they did it to me when I was in too. Like, I was very, very much I like to refer to myself as a recovering Republican, and that doesn't make me a Democrat, so don't go all, like, binary on me on, like, there's only two parties, but, I'm definitely adamantly against both parties completely, because neither of them care about us. Like, they don't give a shit. So, but the military breeds that, and I assume because Colorado Springs is such a military town, it's it's conservative, and they don't want dispensaries there. Can you see his land from yours? No, I cannot see Mac's land from mine. I cannot see Caveman's land from mine. I can't even see David's land from mine, and he's my closest neighbor, so. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Grand Junction. I was thinking of Colorado Springs. Autocorrect has killed my vocabulary. Yeah, that hasn't helped us, has it? I used to spell really well, but now I just rely on spell check. Red, white, and blue, baby. I will always be a patriot. Always, always, always be a patriot. I do love our country. I just know that we have some big fixes that we need to implement, and we have to remember that we are all Americans. We're all Americans, regardless of our politics, and I think that we've gotten away from that. Or maybe we were always away from that. I don't know. I'm still pretty young, so I don't know what it was like in, like, the 40s or the 50s, but I do know that people in like killed themselves because they couldn't enlist to go fight the Nazis, and it's just very different today. But am I still good at math? Yeah, I'm still good at math. I just can't spell where the fuck, because there's no autocorrect for math. I guess there's Google for math, but I learned it before all those days. That's my excuse. Hell yeah, I'm still good at math. Dude, I love math. Bidwell asked me that because I tutored him when he was enlisting into the army, so he could pass the ASVAB, and I did that for actually a lot of people. And math was the one thing that pretty much everyone struggled on, and math was always like an easy A for me. I really always enjoyed math quite a bit, so it made it easy to teach it later because I enjoyed it. Shit was fun. Away with all the people in office that have drivers, they're out of touch. I blame the imperial system. Sehorn is the only reason I graduated high school. That's not true. Like, you probably would have graduated, but I'm glad I made it easier on you, bro. We just need to get rid of sides, red and blue, and find someone that cares about the people and not about how much money they can make. Yeah, no, I completely agree, but we'll never find that within the duopoly, within the two-party system, because let's say you get someone who really does feel that way, that feels like us and is like, I don't care about my party, I'm just here for Americans. Then they win the primaries, and then they have all this political pressure from their party to behave a certain way, and they have to do that in order to win the primaries. So I don't think we're gonna find that person within the duopoly, within the two-party system. And I think that there's some things that the Democrats stand for that are great, and they're, I wholeheartedly agree with them. And then there's some things that the Republicans support and that I'm wholeheartedly in agreement with, completely in agreement. I just think that we have spent too much time saying I'm right and you're wrong, and not enough time finding compromise. And I think we can probably not just see that in politics, but see that in our interpersonal relationships too. Like, I bet you if you looked at your interpersonal relationships with people, it's affected it also. So, I don't know what the solution is, but I know that the solution isn't going to be what we've been doing for the last 100 years and hoping it works this time. Greetings, Zig from Fort Smith, Arkansas. What's up, Biggie James? Bro, you helped me earn 22 credits in 1 year. I was not graduating without you. Like I said, dude, I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I made it easier on you, but I didn't earn 22 credits. You earned 22 credits. You did the work because it was important to you. You showed up for tutoring. Like, you know how many people didn't? They just stopped coming when I was teaching. I used to teach math, folks, and a lot of people would just stop showing up, and the people that kept showing up got something out of it, and the ones that didn't, just faded away. So you did the work, did well. Crystal, without you, crap. Where would he be? If I did vote, I would be a libertarian. Yeah, I think that I would, no, you spelled liberation, but I know what you meant. But a libertarian, yeah, I think I lean closer to libertarian than any other party. It's 100% affected my interpersonal relationships. See? And that sucks. Like, Kendall, I know you and I disagree on some political points too, but we've always been like, yeah, that's just the way it is. Like, we disagree on some shit. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with how we feel about each other, and we need to remember that when we're dealing with people who disagree with us, even if they disagree with us inappropriately, if they're like rude about it and stuff, because they haven't quite figured out that they need to also remember that it doesn't have to affect your interpersonal skills. We don't all have to agree on everything. Like, the fact that we disagree is good. Like, the fact that we can disagree and have conversations about it is good, because between the two extremes, there's a solution that no one is trying to even find, because we're like, nope, you're wrong, I'm right, that's it. So, good job, Chad, good job, Chad. Yay, Chad, I'm high. Yeah, me too. You know what the problem is? Since we're just talking about politics right now. Let me cough this out. Here's the problem with politics. And here's the problem with the system of government that we have right now. No matter what, no matter how many parties we make, we should have a 3-party system, which I kind of agree with. We should have a 40-party system. Let me explain why that won't work. 1 second. And it never works in any society for very long. It does for a little bit, but... Oh, that was a big hit. I'm smoking on some Gorilla Glue number 4. Hence the fucking coughing. Okay, so sorry. I want to explain my political view real quick, since we're going to just jump into that. Every 4 to 8 years, one side forces their form of government on the other side. And they do this through a constitutionally protected system of voting that we have set up in order to elect our presidents and our leaders. So, and what I mean by that, by they force it on the other side, is that, it's always a pretty close race, right, between Democrat and Republican. The Democrat might win by 54%, or the Republican might win by 52%, or whatever. Like, now the people who didn't vote for this person are governed by that person, whether it be your governor or your president or your city official. You didn't vote for them, but now you're being governed by them. That's democracy. Cool. What I would like to see is, right now we have this government pyramid, right? This echelon of government where the feds are on top. They're on top of the pyramid. And the bottom of the pyramid is your local governments, your county and your city governments and your HOAs. And the feds are on top because they can supersede everybody underneath them and tell them, like, nope, this is how you have to operate. This is how you have to this is how you have to live your life, whether you like it or not. The feds can do that over the entire country, regardless of how each one of those states, cities, or counties have voted. So I think that echelon of government needs to be flipped up on upside down, right? And the top echelon of governments should be your local governments. And they already exist. They're already in place. I would like to see your counties and your cities be able to not get superseded by the feds or by their state. And that's the top level of government. So that way, it's your community that's voting for how they should be governed. It's your neighbors. It's your street. It's your kids' friends. You know, like, I think that if that would turn us into a little bit more tribal type of environment, but we all share a very similar culture, right? We know what right and wrong are. We know what good and bad are, in the simplest of terms. So if we see something bad happening to a community that's not within our, like, county or whatever, we're gonna help, because that's what we do with our neighbors. That's what we do with people that share our culture. So if we could flip that echelon of government, doesn't matter who the president is, because they don't have as much power over how you're governed at home than they do today. Like, I just don't understand why somebody in DC gets to tell me how to live my life over here in New Mexico. And I don't understand why somebody in Sacramento gets to govern how somebody lives in LA. And I don't understand why somebody in Portland and Salem gets to govern how people live in Burns. And I don't understand why people in Seattle and Tacoma get to vote for people in Wenatchee. No one's ever going to agree on everything. But if we were to keep our votes smaller and get governed by our local communities, I think there'd be a lot less conflict. So there's my rant. My Gorilla Glue #4 political rant. And Kelly, if your neighbor disagrees and they're still in that state or that county, which I would hope to get it as small as county governments. So that way, if you want to be a Democrat, that's cool. The Democrats are over there in that county. If you want to be a Republican, that's cool. They're over there in that county. You want to be a communist and the socialists are over there. Like, you have so many more options to choose from. And, like, how many counties are there in the country? You know how many forms of government that could possibly create? And you don't like the form of government where you're at, then you can move to one that you do enjoy, where you enjoy the culture and the form of government that you've got over top of you and the climate. And, like, you would have a lot more options. Instead, what we have right now is every 48 years we get forced into one form of government or the other. And whether you agree with it or not, like, that's what happens. There's my rant. I'm probably going to lose subs over that, but whatever. Oh, man, I got comments to make. I'm sorry, I'm reading comments. Your cough sounds like mine, Zig. Yeah, man. Fucking sucks. Tribal, small communities focus on conservation is the only option. They had Tahoe OG Kush at 22.7 and 20 and 8th. Dude, that's fucking awesome. 20 and 8th is not bad. It's more expensive here in New Mexico. Only 16 dispensaries in all of Arkansas. We voted for less car taxes and it passed. Seattle told us no. Yeah, that sucks. See, like, we shouldn't be getting superseded by people far away. Like, why are we being governed by strangers? Bye, Kelly. Glad your dialysis went well. I think you said that eloquently, Zig. Thanks, Kendall. I've actually been like ranting about this for years. I've been on podcasts for this before and whatnot. So like I feel pretty strongly about it. If you think back to any successful cultures out there, like the most successful cultures have all been tribal. You know, like sure we've had societies that have lasted a long time, but the most successful cultures, Native Americans, Vikings, you know, they were all tribal, right? And they were all small communities. Even Slabs has kind of that kind of focus on it, where in your camp it's got its own little form of government, because let's face it, anarchy is never going to work because we naturally form governments within our communities. And that's what happens in Slabs. Each camp has a different form of artificial government that we created for ourselves and we agreed to, but it's all voluntary. And that's what doing it on a small scale, when you flip that echelon of government upside down, you end up creating a voluntary government system where if you don't like where you are, you have the constitutional freedom of movement. We're still in America. And so you get to travel all over the place and figure out exactly where you want to be. Bye, Kelly. Bye, Jelly. Kelly is awesome, folks. She has been very, very helpful to me out here. She sent me the coffee. She's also the one that bought me the generator. I'm swimming in gummy worms. I've got more gummy worms than I know what to do with. So much love, Kelly. I hope to meet you one day while I'm up in the Pacific Northwest. Man, that Gorilla Glue number 4 got me fucking ripped. They had Gorilla Glue also, and then they had Gorilla Glue number 4. So this one had like 4 or 5% more THC, which I'm not really a THC chaser. For me, it has a lot to do with like how the stoniness and the flavor and like how it burns in the pipe. Does it leave behind like a big black goop, or does it like turn into ashes where you can just blow it out of your pipe real easily? Like all that shit matters to me. In junior high, they're called cliques. Yeah, and each clique had a leader. We call it cliques in Slabs too. Like, there is their own little cliques or communities or whatever. Midnight Fire Acres, 3,500 containment 0. Okay, so what Brad's talking about there is the fire I was talking about earlier. It broke out yesterday. You can kind of see it behind me right there. I did a video. I recorded a bunch of the fire yesterday because I want to do a video about it, because that is really close to Nomads Nest, and it's also close to a lot of people's homes that I have met and I do know. Like the owner of this restaurant lives up in that area, and the cook at the restaurant lives up in that area. So the midnight fire, like you can see it, like that's not smoke. That's not clouds. That's a fire. And yesterday it started out as this tiny, tiny little plume of smoke. Right? It's not very big. And I remember on my way into Taos, it took me a minute to find a little smoke. It was very, very faint. And I saw it and I was like, yeah, it does kind of look like a fire. And we went to Taos. We did some filled up on water and propane and grocery shopped and checked the mail, ran errands. And then we were on our way back. That plume of smoke, that little faint plume of smoke, had now become a black, like, cauldron coming out of it. And then it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And we watched the smoke fly over the mesa. And it went over 2 peaks. It went over 3 peaks. And then the entire city of Taos got smoked out. So that fire, what Brad said, it was 20 miles from Tres Piedras, which is so I'm 23, 24 miles away from that fire. Smoke a pipe and not rip a dab. I mean, I could rip a dab. I got my little dab pen down here, but I think it's empty. And this fire's out here kind of, reminiscent of Central Oregon, because in the Pacific Northwest, when I was growing up there, it wasn't like this. But the last 10 years, every summer, the whole forest just burns. Every summer. It's winter and smoke season these days. And I'm in the high desert here, and Noethern New Mexico it seems like it's doing the same thing. I got here and they are still battling the largest fire in New Mexico's history on the other side of the mountains over here. And then on the other side of me now, these woods are burned. So I'm hoping it just stays away from Nomads Nest, but like it's 20 miles away, so. Do I know the temperature here right now? It's 82 away from monsoon season. It'll flood and, well, flash floods, but yeah, Brad, I woke up this morning and I looked out there and it seemed like the fire was put out and the little plume of smoke was a lot smaller and it was white. And now all of a sudden it just looks, I don't know, looks bigger now. Maybe it has something to do with the cold temperatures bringing the smoke down. Not sure. It's humid, 90 here. Yeah, I woke up this morning a little worried about that fire because I sat there and watched the smoke most of yesterday evening, and so I woke up today worried about the fire, and I looked out there and it just looked like it just gone, blue skies again with a little tiny campfire smoke coming out. But yeah, like you said, how many acres is it? Let me scroll up and find that. 3,500 acres. That's huge. It went from like 60 acres to 3,500 overnight. Central Oregon feels like Portland in the last few months. There's 116 in slabs. Yeah, I saw a post. Someone posted the weather down there. It's a great place here, but crispy. I like it here. What's up, Vlad? Welcome to the live stream, bro. I don't know, maybe you have your notifications turned off on YouTube or something. I have no idea, but glad you made it. I believe the wind was blowing the opposite way. That's why it didn't look as bad. Now it's changed directions again. Yeah, dude, it didn't look as bad this morning when I woke up, but apparently it just is. I am poised. That's what I'll be doing. I can just hook my house up and go with my door flying around because I still haven't figured out how to close that. But maybe just drill it shut if it came down to that. I would have to swing down to and to pick him up, and I would have to pick up the Veed. There's a few people here I know that don't have vehicles, so before I took off, I'd have to go scoop up my neighbors too, pack my RV full and bounce. So network right now. I'm not actually, but also for anyone who just showed up, I have been editing yesterday. I've been campaigning for this. I did a live stream about it, mentioned it in a live stream a couple weeks ago. Been kind of asked for help, and yesterday, because y'all have been so generous to me, like unexpectedly generous from the YouTube community, so I wanted to pay that forward. I wanted to give some of that generosity to someone that can use it. A neighbor who has it, and even the wheelbarrow fell over and he jumped back. All that never happened again. So, I hit you guys up. I made a video about it, mentioned it in a live stream. I got enough money together. I started with my own $25 towards it, and a couple days ago I was able to get that wheelbarrow, and yesterday I was able to drop it off, and today or yesterday I have a video, so hopefully that video will be going up here pretty soon. Tomorrow. I'm not quite editing it yet, but I'm close. So YouTube surfing and seeing you on here, thought I'd say hey. I will catch you next time. Have a great day. See you, Biggie James. Thanks for swinging in, dude. I haven't. Shit, man, you might get some jerk up there. You go up after the fire, you won't even need the tag. Of course. Well, this is fun. It's cutting out. It keeps telling me it, like, I'm sure I'm too. Better version. And I'm kind of torn on that. There are three things HZIG, Hotel Zulu India Golf. Anyways, for the 9 folks still here, what are the... I'm kind of torn on 3 things for what I get in the van. First thing is a good solar setup.